everyone's heard of having breakfast for dinner, but most Americans are having dessert for breakfast. So what I wanted to do is still have something sweet for breakfast, but actually more nutritious and fulfilling. So these are two of my favorite go-tos, and they have the word chocolate in both of them. So they are essentially the same recipe, just with a few tweaks. So the first one that we'll talk about is avocado chocolate mousse. So in the ingredients, you can either put it in a food processor if you've got one, or even just in an everyday blender that you might do for smoothies. So you would put in just a ripe avocado, depending on how big you want to make the recipe. I usually use 2. And then again, the main ingredient is going to be chocolate. So I know you think, how in the world is that going to taste like breakfast? But when you put 2 tablespoons, and this is actually cacao powder, so it overtakes any of the avocado flavor and gets a really chocolatey flavor. But we also are going to add a little bit of coconut water. Now you can use some regular filtered water. We're going to use a little bit of dates to make it sweet. So one of my little pro tips for when you use dates, when you blend them, is that take the pit out first. Make sure that you take the pit out and just soak them a little bit in some warm water. That softens them up and makes them really blender friendly. And so you'll get a really smooth texture. And then I know you think it might be funny to add a little bit of salt. So this is one of my favorites I've talked about on many videos. It's called Redmond's sea salt. So it's the one that doesn't have a lot of caking agents and junk in it, but lots of still added minerals. So when you add a little pinch of salt to chocolate, it cuts through the bitterness and makes it even more sweet. And then you want to make sure you're also looking for pure vanilla extract. Again, we're making this more like a dessert, and so it's going to have a really rich flavor. So we blend all those together and then put it in the refrigerator, and it makes a delicious, high protein, high fiber, yummy dessert for breakfast. So the second one that I also do a lot that's very similar, most all of the same ingredients, but we take out the avocado and then we add chia. So it's chia chocolate pudding. So we have the same ingredients. The one tip, however, is that we want to keep these chia seeds whole and we don't want to blend them. So we mix in the coconut water first, and then we add all of the other ingredients, the 2 tablespoons of the cacao powder, the vanilla, also with the, a little bit of the sea salt, also with the soaked dates. But now we blend it up first, and then we add the chia at the very end so that the blender doesn't mash them up. You can just stir them around. And then this takes a little bit more of a setting. You can eat this mousse just within a couple of hours. This takes more like 5 to 6 hours, so you can make it the night before. I actually love to make several of them at a time, and then that way I can grab and go for the rest of the week. So we've got, again, lots of protein, lots of fiber, lots of great ways to start the day besides a chocolate donut. So enjoy your breakfast that's dessert.